Мы с тобой находимся в студии видеоподкастов «Поговорим об ИБ». Уже буквально через несколько дней состоится крупнейшая хакерская тусовка Kazhackstan Turan. Мы, как информационные партнеры, решили поддержать ребят и продолжить серию выпусков «Поговорим об ИБ» в полевых условиях. Как это было? Смотри!
У нас на подкасте «Поговорим об ИБ» специалист в кибербезопасности Ральфе Эчемендия. Welcome. Nice to see you here. Ralph, for those who doesn't know you well, could you introduce yourself and tell us about what you do?
I'm known as the ethical hacker, and for over 30 years I have been a cybersecurity expert. Of course, I've moved into business and other things, but I've been doing, computer hacking, cybersecurity for a very long time in many different industries. I've worked in just about every industry, and then over the last 10 to 15 years I've had a lot of, lived in Los Angeles and focused on working on films such as Savages, Snouden, TV show Mr. Robot, and many others. But yeah, I started with penetration testing, vulnerability assessments, basically research in the area of exploits and such.
Is it your first time here in Kazakhstan?
It is. This is my first time in Kazakhstan. This is my first time in Almaty, obviously. So I got in yesterday, so I'm just starting to take it in. But so far, I'm very impressed and really enjoying the people, and the conference is amazing. And I'm looking forward to the next few days.
Great. We loved your speech, and for those who wasn't able to listen to it, could you just, in a nutshell, tell us what was your message?
So my speech was, was around it was titled "Hacker or Hacked." Mm-hmm. The speech was to sort of make people think about the fact that you either need to think like a hacker or you're going to get hacked. Right, and the speech was, different ways to sort of get people to think about this issue and sort of flip the meaning of hacker, because sometimes we think that that's a bad term. I started off by saying hacking is not a crime. Hacking is a skill. Yeah,
even appearances, we usually think that there are bad boys with
wearing hoodies and masks. And so, even, to some degree with Mr. Robot as an example, the way that the media tends to portray hackers and hacking is always in a bit of a negative way, which sometimes it works to our advantage, because it makes it sexy, right? Call it cybersecurity, then it's not so sexy anymore. But the idea is to sort of really flip the meaning, or at least the perception of what hackers are, and not just for the world to think of us differently, but also for us to realize that we have a responsibility and with the power that comes to sort of I hate to use to make the world a better place, but to make the world a safer place, and that's really the focus of our.
I know that actually it is difficult to be a hacker. I mean, even hacking is difficult. But for those who want to be like you as an ethical hacker, what he or she must do, what steps they must go through in order to become an ethical hacker. Is it enough to me just to watch YouTube videos how to code and everything, or is there places where I can learn to be a hacker?
Absolutely. Really, hacking is all about learning how to learn, and learning how to learn quickly and very deeply about anything, any subject matter. It's not that it's difficult. I think the idea is that things that are difficult are because we don't understand them or we don't know them. But the moment you start knowing them, one of the things I mentioned in this speech is that the type of people that are hackers are the people who start off by knowing nothing about what they're doing, but they're still doing something, and eventually you're going to know and still continue to do. So it's about doing, right, and spending the time to learn and then doing something with the knowledge that you learn. So the world of cybersecurity and hacking is very broad. It's kind of like medicine. If you're a doctor, there's a lot of different types of doctors that specialize in many different areas. Cancer alone has a lot of different specialists, right? So this is very similar to that. Some people are good at coding and get it, and some people are not good in coding, but there's many different areas. There's networking security, there's application security, and even beyond that, there's one of the things I mentioned in the speech was about the lack of people in leadership, in management, and in those areas. And that doesn't mean that they're coding. But that means that they have to have a real understanding around risks and a real understanding about what it takes to lessen risk and to reduce the threats that we have to deal with. So it's a very broad area, and the main thing is, I think, that's important to me is I had one person at the end there go, I'm not a hacker, but now I want to be. And that is really it.
Yeah, I think
you want to be.
Could you teach me or something?
Yeah, it's like I want to learn from you, and that's inspiring to me. That's what's important, is to just turn on that switch, that light that fire of wanting to learn, wanting to do that, and that's the most important thing, because then the rest is just a matter of time, and time is really the thing. You have to put in the time. It's just like music. If you want to learn how to play an instrument, you have to put the time in.
Right.
So this is the same. It is. I said that hacking is an art, and much like an instrument, and much like an art form, all it takes is the time to do it, and just spend the time doing it, and you will get better at it.
You said in your speech that life imitates movie. I think if I got it right.
Well, some people say that art imitates life. You see a painting of the mountains in Kazakhstan, and you think that it's actually art imitating life, but in reality, it's life imitating art. Art is the medium by which you can create anything that the mind conceives, and then life tends to imitate that. And a good example of that is, I'm a Trekkie. I love Star Trek. Grew up watching Star Trek, and the good old blip, 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 blip.
Right.
And that inspired this, because in the '60s you didn't have even the concept of a cell phone, right? So those kids who were nerds watching Star Trek watched that, and now all of a sudden created. So science fiction becomes science fact. Right, and so we tend to think the other way around. That art is actually imitating life. No, life is imitating art. So it's important to realize that the things that we see that art has created in movies and other forms of art are ultimately what we as scientists will ultimately create into real life.
Okay, thank you, Ralph, for your time.
Спасибо.
Спасибо вам. Welcome to Kazakhstan.
Thank you.
We hope that you'll enjoy your time here, and maybe you'll get something new or learn something.
Absolutely. I'm already learning. I don't stop learning. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.